It usually starts with a harmless sentence like, "I'm coming over," or sometimes, "We should hang out at your place." You smile when you hear it, you might even agree quickly, as if it's no big deal. But somewhere deeper, before logic can step in, your body reacts first. A subtle tightening in the chest, a quick drop in energy, a thought you don't say out loud, "There goes my peace." It's confusing because you like people. You're not angry, you're not annoyed at the person themselves, yet something inside you recoils as if a fragile balance is about to be disturbed. For people like you, home is not just an address or a backdrop to life. It's the one place where the world stops asking for something. Outside, you're attentive. You're aware of how you sound, how you look, how your reactions land. You adjust without thinking. You soften edges. You read the room. But at home, that constant monitoring finally shuts off. Your shoulders drop. Your breathing changes. You move without explanation. You sit in silence without feeling awkward. You don't have to be interesting, agreeable, or on. You simply exist. That's why the idea of someone entering that space can feel so unsettling, even if they're kind, even if you love them. The moment a guest steps inside, the air changes. The silence breaks. The rhythm you rely on gets interrupted. It's not dramatic, but it's noticeable, like a quiet room where someone turns on a light too suddenly. Nothing is technically wrong, yet something essential has shifted. Psychologically, this isn't about disliking people, it's about control and safety. Your home is a carefully regulated environment. Every object is where you expect it to be. Every sound is familiar. Every routine serves a purpose, even if you couldn't explain it out loud. This predictability calms your nervous system. It tells your body, you don't have to be alert right now. You can rest. When a guest arrives, that sense of control loosens. You adjust the volume of your voice. You rearrange your movements. You become aware of yourself again. The calm pond of your inner world ripples, not because the guest did anything wrong, but because the environment is no longer fully yours. There's also the emotional labor that quietly returns the moment someone walks in. You start tracking time without meaning to. Are they comfortable? Do they need something? Are you being too quiet? Too distant? Too much? You monitor your tone. You think before speaking. You censor small habits you never even noticed until someone else was present. This effort isn't obvious, and it often goes unrecognized by others. From the outside, you seem perfectly fine, warm, polite, engaged. But inside, your energy is slowly draining, like a battery losing charge in the background. That's why for many people who hate having guests over, the strongest feeling comes after the visit ends. The door closes, the sound of footsteps fades, the silence returns, and with it comes relief. Not relief because the guest is gone, but relief because you can finally exhale. The mask drops again. The room feels like yours. You might even feel guilty about how good that moment feels, as if enjoying silence says something unkind about you. But it doesn't. It simply says that quiet is how you recover. Interestingly, many of the people who feel this most deeply are not cold or distant at all. They're often empathetic, attentive, and emotionally aware. They notice subtle shifts in mood. They pick up on tension without words. They care about how others feel, which is exactly why hosting costs them so much. When you're sensitive to emotional atmospheres, a guest doesn't just bring their body into your home. They bring their energy, their stress, their expectations. Even pleasant energy still requires processing. And when you process deeply, that becomes exhausting.
This sensitivity often comes with strong emotional boundaries, even if you've never consciously named them or explained them to anyone else. You're not trying to keep people out of your life. You're trying to keep yourself intact. There's a difference. To you, home is not a place where connection needs to be demonstrated or maintained. It's not a stage where conversation has to flow or energy has to be managed. It's the one place where the internal volume finally drops, where your nervous system doesn't have to scan or adjust. It's where you stop performing entirely. That's why meeting friends at a cafe, going for a walk, or sitting in a park feels easier. Those environments already come with an expectation of awareness. You're already on in a small, contained way, so nothing essential is taken from you. You can enjoy the connection without sacrificing the space that keeps you regulated. You can leave when your energy shifts. You don't have to reorganize your inner world to accommodate someone else's presence. Your sanctuary remains untouched, and because of that, the interaction feels lighter, safer, more honest. For some people, this reaction has roots that stretch far beyond adulthood. In certain childhood homes, guests didn't represent warmth or celebration. They represented tension, a sudden change in atmosphere, voices getting louder or quieter in ways that felt unpredictable. Maybe you were told to behave differently. Maybe emotions were managed for appearances. Maybe arguments surfaced only when others were around. Or maybe the house simply stopped feeling calm the moment someone crossed the threshold. Even if you don't consciously remember those moments, your body remembers them. Your nervous system learned that visitors meant vigilance, that safety depended on reading the room correctly, that peace could be interrupted at any moment. So now, years later, a simple visit can activate a subtle alert inside you. Not panic, not fear, just a low-level unease, a tightening, a sense that something familiar but uncomfortable is approaching. It's not that you expect something bad to happen, it's that your system prepares itself just in case. It shifts into monitoring mode. And that constant readiness, even when nothing goes wrong, is exhausting. So when you prefer to keep your home private, when you hesitate before inviting someone in, it's not avoidance, it's memory. It's self-protection shaped quietly over time. And once you understand that, your reaction stops feeling irrational. It starts making sense as the language of a nervous system that learned early how to survive disruption by preserving calm wherever it could find it. There's also another conflict at play, one that doesn't get talked about much. Society treats hosting as a moral virtue. Inviting people in is seen as generous. Turning inward is often misunderstood as selfish or antisocial. So when you don't enjoy having guests over, you might question yourself. You might push past your limits to avoid disappointing others. You might say yes when you mean no, then feel resentful without fully understanding why. That resentment isn't about the people, it's about the repeated violation of a need you haven't given yourself permission to honor. The truth is, you can love people deeply and still need space. You can care without wanting constant closeness. You can be generous with your time and still protective of your environment. Wanting control over your surroundings doesn't make you cold or inflexible. It means you understand how easily your energy is shaped by what's around you. Some nervous systems are built to thrive on movement, noise, and stimulation. Others find balance in quiet, predictability, and stillness. Neither is superior, neither is broken. They are simply different ways of staying regulated in a world that rarely slows down. When you begin to see it this way, something important shifts. You stop treating your discomfort as a personality flaw. You stop forcing yourself to enjoy situations that leave you depleted. You stop apologizing internally for needing recovery after social contact. Instead, you start paying attention to what actually sustains you. You design your life with intention rather than guilt. Shorter visits, familiar routines, neutral spaces where connection can happen without intrusion, boundaries that don't require justification. You begin to understand that access to your private space is not a requirement for love. And slowly, the guilt begins to loosen its grip. You realize that protecting your home is not an act of rejection. It's an act of self-respect. It's about staying connected to yourself so that when you do engage, you're not doing it from exhaustion or resentment. A drained version of you isn't more loving just because it's available. Availability without presence is hollow. A grounded version of you, even in smaller doses, brings far more honesty, warmth, and care. There is a quiet dignity in choosing calm over obligation, in resisting the pressure to perform hospitality at the cost of your own well-being, in allowing your home to remain what it was meant to be for you, a place where you don't have to manage impressions, a place where you don't have to explain your silences, a place where your thoughts can wander freely without interruption, where stillness isn't something to fill, but something to sink into. So if you're someone who dreads having guests over, know this: you're not broken, you're not rude, you're not avoiding life. You're listening to a deeper rhythm, one that values peace as much as connection. And in a world that constantly asks for more noise, more presence, more performance, choosing to protect your quiet is not weakness, it's wisdom. Know someone who's all about personal space and prefers not to host? Give this video a thumbs up and share it with them. They might just relate.